Okay, everyone just relax. On my last video upload, I had 20 people ask me, where's the Cerberus video? When are you going to do the Battlefield Time video? What's going on? So here it is. I was supposed to be asleep about 2 hours ago, but I'm like, okay, I'll deliver this video. This is a free-to-play guide. Yes, free to play, not first to pay. You can see I'm using an SR weapon and a rare weapon. When I was first told to use this combination, I was like, really? The rare spear, I'm going to use that? And it turns out it works fantastically for this run. So let's dive into it. I'll go over the best hunter choices, the best weapon choices, and also what channels you should use, because it does make a major difference for this run, and also the skills and blessing stones you should use. But first, really quick thank you to every single one of you who has been supporting us. We are now rank number 2. We're so close to that rank number 1 spot. We have to win. We're going to get that rank number 1 spot, I'm telling you. And a shout out to everyone on our top 10 list. Even though most of you have your NIDs instead of your name, that's totally fine. Thank you so much for supporting us. I know for a fact we're going to steal that rank 1 spot, showing everyone just how good our community is. And also, really quick congrats to Spy, they were the first commenter on our last video, so here's a shout out to you. Now let's go ahead and cover our build, and I'll do a full run explaining exactly what you need to do. So let's start with our weapons. Your weapon choice is honestly very simple. We're just going for a rare weapon, because everyone should have multiple copies of this, especially if you are free to play. On my last video, I did see a few people complain, well, having 1 copy of Plum is not free to play, so be it. We have an SR weapon now, and a rare weapon, and just so you know, you do not, and yes, I'll repeat it, you do not need any levels on your weapon when you are doing the Battlefield Time. So as you saw, I ran this for level 5 rare weapon, and a level, 20 SR weapon. All that matters for Battlefield Time is this right here, the advancements. So don't level up your weapons thinking you can get more damage in. You cannot. It is only, yes, only based on the advancements. Same for your hunters, only the advancements. So please do know this. And there's other things you have to consider as well, which I'll cover in just a little bit. So going for weapon choices, you'll see why I chose this weapon. But overall, the skill is super nice because it does interrupt the target, freezing them for 2 seconds. And overall, the damage output is fairly good. It is a solid water weapon. The skill is very easy to use. You can use it up to 2 times if you have it to A3. Very useful. The cooldown resets. And also the erosion skill, which is this right here, increases damage out to targets that have elemental weakness by 12%, is super useful. Cerberus is weak to water, so we use this to pump out even more damage. So do take note of this. Be sure to use a skill before you start dealing DPS, because this will help you deal more damage, obviously. Now for our next weapon, we obviously choose this bad boy right here, the Lizard Spear, one of the best rare weapons, clearly. You get a stacking effect, which is very nice, but you don't get too many stacks off, which is fine. This isn't the reason why we use it. The skill is very useful here. It provides a knockdown on the target, which does help us on the second phase, which I'll show you in just a bit. And it also resets a skill very often, meaning we can spam it, dealing more damage. And also at the A5 level, it increases the damage out to boss monsters by 40% by using the spear. So very nice. Overall, a lot of free damage we can get, and it is a rare weapon, meaning you can get it to A10 very easily, meaning you'll get a ton of precision. And also, don't forget about the attack, defense, and HP buff. You get a total of 10% to all those stats, so a very easy way to deal more damage. Again, your levels are not considered in the Battlefield Time, so advancements are all you need to deal proper amounts of damage. Now on that note, we do have a lot of hunters we can choose. You want at least 2 breakers on your team and 1 other buffer. So for me personally, I use Jiwoo. She deals damage and she also provides us a shield, which is very useful for Cerberus because of the knockback it does have during that immortality phase when you get it to, I believe, 70% HP and under. If you have a shield activated, you won't get knocked back, meaning your play is much easier. Don't use someone like Malin, she isn't needed for this run. You can use her, of course, though the buff isn't as long as Min's, for example. So if you have Min, do try to use them. If not, that's okay. You can use Malin, it's totally fine. Overall, they both work fairly decently. I doubt there's really a damage difference. I just prefer Min because he does have a longer period for his skill to be activated. That means his support skill, the passive it puts off, which is this one right here. Let me pull it up. The punishment increases damage taken by 15% for 20 seconds, which is very nice. But I digress, our next hunter you should use is Namche Young. She freezes the target, which is very useful, but she also provides a break. That's exactly what we need. So a medium break here, and a medium break here as well on top of his shield. So that's my dream team. Min, Nam, and also Jiwoo. You can use Malin as well. You can also use someone like Yunhu for the break, or anyone else that does have a medium break, though preferably not someone like Yunho, because of the defense decrease he has, does not stack with Shadow Step. So again, up to you what you want to do. Just go for 1 buffer and 2 breakers, that's ideal, so you can break Cerberus right off the bat and not struggle too much with it. Now, we already covered weapons for Jinwoo, let's go over Blessing Stones. You do have a lot of options. Pulverize is very needed in my opinion, because once you do break the target, your damage is increased by 12%, very easy to get off. You get it off in the first few seconds of the battle, and also you end up dealing more break damage using your break skills, so that's very nice as well. Another Blessing Stone I do use is this one right here, Monarch's Domain, because we actually do use our shadows to clear one of the phases. This one is very good for getting a consistent run off every single time. I'll show you how this works, don't worry. And also we go for Boss Slayer. It's one of the best Blessing Stones we have. A very easy 12% increase to bosses, or 10% if you have it at rare. So do use this one as well. And also this one here, Weakness Detection. Super simple. We have a 12% damage increase to anyone that does have an elemental weakness. So a very easy Blessing Stone to use. You'll get the damage off right away. Other ones you can use would be this one right here, Sharp Perception. That's okay. You also have Double-Edged Sword. You can also use Fatal Strike if you need more break. Basically, lots of options. Just go for your best damage dealing ones. Basically, any Blessing Stones that do amplify your damage. You don't need any survivability, so don't do that. Just go for raw damage, break, or anything that can amplify your break damage or damage in general. So with our Blessing Stones covered, let's go to skills. Very simple, we want break. And what skill provides the most break? This one right here. Armor Break, as shown by the name, it provides Almighty Break. If you have the Water Rune, that's fine. If not, you can go with the Dark Rune, you can go with the Wind Rune. The Fire Rune too, doesn't really matter. As long as you get the full break effect off, you're good to go. I just use the Water one because the Freeze is very nice. Cerberus is very annoying, so freezes always do help. And for your second skill, you can use something like Death Stance or Multi-Strike. Totally up to you. Just use whatever skill you think will deal the most damage. This one is a Water Elemental, and it does provide medium and weak break on the final hit. So overall, very nice. The cooldown is low, so you can spam this skill quite quickly. But again, just go for skill that does provide enough break to instantly break Cerberus after your first Shadow Step, which I'll show you in just a second, so don't worry. But basically for your skills, just go break, armor break, plus one other skill that does provide a lot of break. That is all you need. Now I think we covered everything. We have weapons, we have skills, blessing stones, stats remain the same, you don't have to change them. Artifacts, yes, that's what we're forgetting. Now do know, big disclaimer, don't skip this. You don't need to advance any artifacts, you don't need to level them up, you don't need to care about these substats. All that matters for artifacts is this right here, that being the set effect. So as you see, I have a +6 random Behemoth's Ring just to get the Executioner stat off. So that's what I went with. I went with Toughness because it provides the best bonus, and also Executioner because you get the 20% damage bonus right away. Super simple. You can also use the very brand new artifacts. Those ones are super OP. The one I recommend is, let me find it here. This one right here increases the user's damage dealt by 30% and also increases your damage dealt by 0.2% every 1 second Overall, a very nice effect. You can use this if you have it, but as you saw, I did not use this set. I went with Toughness and Executioner, showing you anyone can use this build. Since this is technically a pay-to-win artifact, I didn't want to use it. So super simple. My junior artifacts are Executioner and Toughness. You do not need to level them up. You can use them at +0, +1, doesn't matter. The substats do not transfer over. I'm not getting this bonus here. You're just going in with the set effect and nothing else. That's correct. Now on that note, let's jump to the run. I'll show you what you need to do step by step. This is one of the easier ones we have done in a very long time. I'm thankful for it. Some of the other ones have been very complicated, but Cerberus is probably the easiest one we've had yet, because as you saw as a free-to-play build, I was able to get rank 1 super easily. Alright, let's go ahead and start this run. I have it recorded to make things a bit easier. It's hard doing it live because you'll make mistakes and it's hard to explain. So the first thing you want to do is use your shadows right away. Yes, the second, it hasn't even been 1 second, the second you load in, you want to spam your shadows and run straight forward. That's exactly what you want to do. And I should have mentioned this previously, for your shadows, if I didn't mention it, you have to have blades on your team. So use Igris, use blades, I use tank, that's up to you. Those 3 are the preferable combo, so use them. You'll get the best result using these 3 shadows. Now going forward, you can see I dash twice. I want to get somewhere around here. This is where the demon spawns after you clear these mobs, and let me show you how you clear them. Super simple, you do nothing, you auto attack, do nothing special, and your shadows in the second you'll see will clear all the enemies right there. You saw that splash? That was your shadows. That's Blade from my understanding. He clears the whole map, and there we go, the boss spawns. And what you want to do is preferably have your auto attacks ready. For the Lizard Spear, you'll see, hopefully I do it here in this battle. There we go. You want to get him knocked down. That makes the battle so easy, because the first thing the Burning Low Demon does is dash forward, and you don't want him to do that. So just knock him down, make him faceplant, and then what you can use is use your SR weapon to cause the freeze effect. That makes this battle so quick. He's down, you then freeze him in a second, you'll see, boom, froze him. Your shadows will deal damage, you'll deal damage as well. Super simple, and boom bam, we're just dealing damage. And I want to go back and remind you, you can use your SR weapon skill twice, so do not forget that. That's why the 2 bars are there. And for your rare weapon skill, you can spam it. It does reset every so often. It happens more often than not, so please do keep an eye on your skills. Otherwise, you will lose out on potential damage, making things, well, a bit longer than it should take. So let's continue. As you see, this battle is super simple. It's going to die without a movement in sight. There we go. And now we have the Cerberus battle. This is where the bulk of the time will take. What you want to do is just run forward, and you can, if you want, try to get off an auto attack before you reach a Cerberus. Up to you. I don't really bother too much with the complete min-maxing, but that's up to you. So as you run forward, super simple, use Shadow Step here, Extreme Evasion, easy peasy, there we go. We cause the defense decrease, and what you want to do now is spam your hunters and your skills. So in order, it should be your breaker, then your support buffer, and you want to use these 2 skills at the same time. Your hunters do activate, as you see. As I activated Jiwoo, I use the multi-strike skill. Super simple. And as I use Nam, you'll see in just a second, I use my skill as well, the Almighty Break. Fast and easy break responses. The break counter is going down, and you'll see it disappear in just a second. Boom, it's about to go off. And once the break goes off, you just want to deal as much damage as possible. Your shadows will refresh shortly, don't use it. Just try dodging a Cerberus. Get off Shadow Step if you have to. The first attack will be simple to dodge. Use Shadow Step, very simple. And one thing I do recommend is always try facing the Cerberus so that its back is facing the wall. That way, when it uses its first skill, it can't dash any more back. It would just be stuck in place, meaning you can easily dash towards it and just deal more damage right off the bat. That'll make your run much quicker. But anyways, I digress. Let's continue. I'm just using my skills when I can, dodging when it attacks. Super easy. This is the same Cerberus we're used to. And once you get the HP to the boss under 70%, it'll use its first skill. That's why I like using something like Jiwoo. So I time Jiwoo's skill right here. As you'll see, I cast Jiwoo, and did I do that? There we go. No, I didn't do it. So what you can do, I probably did in a previous run, you can use Jiwoo right as the skill is about to end, because you'll get a shield, you won't be knocked back, you'll be able to deal more damage. That's the ideal scenario. And even though Cerberus is invincible during that time, Jiwoo's skill will still deal damage because it does take a moment for the skill to activate. So just so you know, that's a little bit of a min-maxing tip I can provide you. Now the Cerberus, like I mentioned, is going to back off. That's why you want it against the wall to begin with, because if it's there, it can't dash backwards anymore, it'll be stuck in place, and you don't need to run towards it. So if you want to maximize your runs, it's a very easy tip to have. Make sure its back is facing the wall, that way when it dashes back, it'll be stuck, you can reach it faster, dealing much more damage. Now as you approach it, what I recommend is to start using your hunter skills, get the bonus in from Min right away, and just start attacking like your life does depend on it. And you want to use your shadows basically once the meteors drop, when you get your shadow step off for the most damage. I don't like using my shadows before the meteors come in, because then they might get sparsed out, making it much more difficult to use your shadow step. That's just my opinion, it's up to you how you want to do it. But basically, dodge the meteors in a second, use your shadow step, use your shadows, use your skills where you can, use your hunters as well. You just want to spam as much as possible. Do not use your ultimate yet. Your ultimate will come off very soon. You want to save it for when all the buffs do apply. Basically, when Cerberus is around 35%, you can use it, and then you can use your skills to finish it off from that point. You can watch here, just attacking, using all the skills I can. Now I use the ultimate, dealing a ton of damage here. You are an unworthy opponent, very nice. And you see the HP bar just get drained. You want to use your skills quickly before it dashes, and there we go. The run made easy for you. This is a free-to-play run. If I see anyone complain that it isn't, I'll point you to these weapons. You're using a rare weapon. How is that pay to win? This is free-to-play to the max. Everyone should have at least some hunters they can use. You just need 2 breakers, 1 supporter. Super simple, and just follow the tips I outlined, and you'll have a very successful run. So I do hope this helped. If it did drop, so I do hope this guide did help you. If it did, be sure to support the channel on a Marble supporter page. I'm dying to get that ranked #1 spot. We can do it. And be sure to subscribe to the channel for more guides like this. And if you have any comments or concerns, drop them down below. I'll be sure to reply. This was Zaf signing out.